Hey everybody, and welcome to an amazing day. What a great day. You guys have been diamond hands. You've been accumulating, and man, it's starting to pay off, isn't it? Things are really starting to line up. So it's going to be a fun show today. What's hot on Pulsechain? That's what we're going to talk about. And of course, Mintra NFT Marketplace. Mint Token has gone live earlier today. And of course, we're also going to talk about 9mm, their flagship, possibly launching in about a week's time. And of course, Beetroot, maybe their Stake and Shake platform also, which is going to be bullish coming up as well. So Beetroot Privacy Hub, of course, within 2 weeks. So just more and more projects just flooding in the second wave of projects launching. This is just more and more and more coming. It's incredible. 2 days we went through how many? 7, 8? I think it was 8 launching, and we've got these 2 more. 3 here, 2. Oh, there's 2 more actually in this one. So it's just more and more really, really good protocols launching on Pulsechain. Not little crappy things, really, really good stuff. So it's really fun times. And now the markets are lifting as well. Bitcoin and Pulsechain, it's looking really, really good. We've got lots in store about that. Stay tuned. It's going to be a really fun-filled live stream today. Let's all look here. We've got Lives Beneath in the house there. Hello, how are you today? Very good. It is sunny outside, so it's a good sign again. We just can't stop all this goodness. Hex, EHEX, PLS, and PLXX incentive for the win 100%. That is the golden strategy of Richard Hart. And man, we are maxi on that one. We got DG and Hexkin in the house with the 5555s. Welcome to the chat. Pac-Man as well. Woo! Let's go, Superman. Absolutely, Pac-Man. Good to see you in the chat today. Sandy Beach, the health and fitness is the leadership. And thank you so much, Sandy, for the thumbnail today. Yes, Sandy, the surfer, is on the thumbnail. I'm just teasing, but it's fun to play. We got Joey Torres as well. What's up, Joey? Welcome to the chat. Hex Token channel member representing. Even Wookie says, wow, Sandy can surf. Yeah, Sandy's multi-talented. What else there? We got Wookie. Wookie, hit the likes. Yeah, go hit the likes there, Wookie. And of course, Brennan's in the house there, a TA specialist. Woo! Good to see you, Brennan. Welcome to the chat. Harry Williams, yo, Harry. Welcome to the chat, and a big shout out from Sandy Beach. Hello, everybody. Woohoo! Brennan, also a big shout out. Hello, everybody, and Genuine as well. Good morning. Hey, always a pleasure to see Genuine in the chat there. Welcome as well. Who else has jumped in here? Archie as well. Hi, all. Good to see Archie here. We've got the whole moderator team in the chat today. Well done, and they're amazing. If you want to meet them and talk to them online, get into our Discord. The link is in the video description. They're part of our community leadership team, and they're an amazing bunch of people. Definitely get in there. All right. Yes, I am. Yes, that's true. That's true, Sandy. All right. Should we get into it? Let's get straight into it. We've got so much to talk about today. We're going to start off, obviously, with the stock market, the Federal Reserve. Then we're going to get into the crypto market, and then we're going to move into Pulsechain. So stay tuned for all that. And, of course, what's hot, of course, we're going to talk about all the projects. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Before we do, though, Astrid's in the house there. Woo! Yeah, get excited. A really good day in the office. And you guys have been patient. You've gone through the tough times. Now, it is day 160 that we are finishing up here on Pulsechain. We're about to start day 161. So really moving ahead here. Still in month number 6 for Pulsechain. All right, where are we going here? Let's go move around. Bam. Let's go. And let's bring in the screen here. We're going to kick it off with Richard Hart, the founder, of course, of Pulsechain and Hex. So let's get into that. He posted some really bullish news about XRP. Good news for XRP, says founders. So good news for the XRP founders. Aiding and abetting charges drop. So obviously Richard Hart has a civil case from the SEC against him. And, of course, they tried to tag in Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex into that, as we know. And that was, about 11 weeks ago or something like that. So here we are. Good news. Will this feed in for Richard Hart? We will see. No charges or trial for them personally, I think, he says, which is really, really cool to see. So that gives a bit more bullishness around the Pulsechain and Richard Hart there too. It's what I say here. Dear Judge Torres, Plaintiff Securities and Exchange Commission respectfully notifies the court of the stipulated dismissal of the SEC's pending claims against defendants Christian Larson and Bradley Garlinghouse. Many of you will know who Garlinghouse is. And, of course, they're the individual defendants there. This court's July 13, 2023 order set for trial of the SEC's claim that the individual defendants aided and abetted Ripple's violation. So really targeting not just Ripple, of course, with their case, but also the individuals there as well, the founders there or CEOs. So pretty important there with Ripple's institutional sales. So obviously that's the breach that Ripple did of institutional sales of XRP. And of course, what did I say here? The parties have stipulated to the dismissal with prejudice of this claim, so that is good news for them, the individuals. This voluntary dismissal obviates the need for the scheduled trial on this claim and mutes the October 3rd, 2023 scheduled order. So that was bullish for the individuals there and may play well into Richard Hart's case, so it's going to be pretty interesting. The SEC and Ripple intend to meet and confer on a potential briefing schedule with respect to the pending issue in that case. What remedies are proper against Ripple for its Section 5 violations with respect to the institutional sales of XRP, and respectfully request until November the 9th, 2023 to propose such schedule to the court, or if the parties cannot agree, to seek a briefing schedule from the court on a contested basis. So the XRP continues, but of course they've been losing in court as well. So it's looking pretty good all around there. So good news. So yeah, that might bode well for Richard Hart in this case as well, which is coming up in November also, right? So we will see how that goes. All right, or at least the initial hearings are coming up, right, in November. So that's bullish news there from Richard. Let's get into the stock market results. And of course, we have the Dow closes lower as 10-year Treasury yields flirts with 5%. So that is the big news today. Yesterday, remember, the market was down. Today, the market is down. So this is the close of Thursday in the United States, this result. So that's important to know. Just had something pop up there. Let me just get rid of it. And yeah, so that is the results. So today, the Dow Jones, the top 30 industrial firms in the United States, is down 0.75%, 250 points to 33,414. The S&P 500 is down 0.85%, 36 points to 4,278. Now, remember, we keep reminding you about FundStrat's Tom Lee, who's well known in his crypto commentary, talking about S&P 500 getting up to 4,800. It's currently 4,278. It was up quite well last week. It's been and at the beginning of this week, but down the last 2 days really. So there we go on the S&P 500. The Nasdaq is down almost 1%, 128 points there to 13,186. That's got all the tech companies in it at the moment. The volatility index is up there 11%. And I just got some noise over there, so I'll just have to mute that. So the volatility index is up 11%. The US dollar versus trading partners is down slightly, 0.3% to 106 versus trading partners. Let's jump over to the commodities. West Texas there, the oil price up again, 1.68%, $1.50 to $93 on Brent oil. And West Texas is up slightly as well to $89.31. So if we look over the last month, say, the Brent oil there, you can see it's back to the middle of the month really. Those were the prices. We sort of been as high as $95, as low as $84, and now we're back up at around about $90 there for the oil there. So kind of in the middle of the range for the month is the old oil. Gold is doing very well, and so is crypto, right? So gold is up, and that is up 0.5% to up $10 to $1,990. So very close to $2,000 for gold. That's kind of cool. And silver there is up almost 1% as well, 20 cents to $23.24. So that's pretty cool. Now, silver is the one I tell you to look out in the future. When we get, maybe the inflation gets under control, the Fed starts to pivot the interest rates, silver and could really fly. So just keep an eye on that one. That could do some really interesting stuff. Good old silver there. So let's get to Jerome Powell, obviously the Fed chairman, around the interest rates. Powell said the Fed chairman says proceeding carefully. That is their approach. They're proceeding carefully, obviously after having the fastest, quickest rate hike in history. They're now proceeding carefully. And of course, we're currently at 5.5% on the federal funds rate. We didn't have a rate rise last time. Looks like we probably won't have one coming up in November. So that's kind of good at this stage. It's been good for the crypto and the markets. Powell said that the Fed is proceeding carefully on future rate hikes following a spike in Treasury yields that have helped tighten financial conditions. So they're relying on the treasury yields there going up, and of course the 10-year rates there going up as well. Help tighten financial conditions significantly, but said continued economic growth could force the Fed to further tighten policy. So that's still on the table, not quite out of the ballpark there yet. So just taking into account. The Fed remarks arrived just on the heels of data showing the labor market still remains strong. We've been seeing that in the data, pointing to underlying strength in the economy that pushed the 10-year Treasury yield to flirt with 5% for the first time since 2007. So back towards that Great Recession period there at the moment on the Fed, which is pretty cool. Let's go to the tools and have a look at the Fed rate monitor for November. We got 1 week and 5 days and 18 hours to go until the next Fed meeting on the 1st of November at 2 p.m. Eastern time. We can see that the market is expecting a 99% of the market expecting a no change in interest rates, which is bullish for us. It is really good for us. Only 1%, less than 1% actually, is expecting another rate hike. However, December is the last meeting of the year, and 25% of the market is expecting a 25 basis rate hike at this stage, but 75% is not expecting anything. So maybe this year we have no more rate rises. Fingers crossed on that. That would be good for us. Let's quickly hear from Jerome Powell, who was speaking in New York, I believe. So let's hear from him quickly.
Ratings turned lower over the summer, a very favorable development. The September inflation data continued that downward trend, but were somewhat less encouraging. And shorter-term measures of core inflation over the most recent 3 and 6 months are now running below 3%. But these shorter-term measures are often volatile. And in any case, inflation is still too high, and a few months of good data are only the beginning of what it will take to build confidence that inflation is moving down sustainably toward our goal. We cannot yet know how long these lower readings will persist or where inflation will settle over coming quarters. While the path is likely to be bumpy and to take some time, my colleagues and I are united in our commitment to bring down inflation sustainably to 2%.
So there we are, cautiously moving ahead there. So that is Jerome Powell, the chair of the Fed.
Readings turned lower.
I don't know why that came back up, but anyway, we're going to look at crypto next. So let's get into it. I think we've got a few more people arrived, so let's just check out who they are. Brennan says XRP is having a move from the news. Founders will dump soon, says Brennan. That's hilarious. What else we got going? We've got Tintop in the house here. What's up, Tintop? Good to see you as well. Nicholas Cortez, volume please. Oh, sorry, was it a bit low on the volume? My bad. Sorry about that. All right, we'll try and fix that up with the next one. Now, obviously, let's get into crypto. Bam, let's go. And look at this. Woo! Enjoy. Sit back, get that cup of cocoa, and enjoy the market. It's looking green. So BTC at 28,667, up 1.2%. Ethereum there at 1565, up a little bit there too, just a tad. Ethereum not really moving big time yet, but that is nice and green. BNB is pretty much flat as well at 210, but XRP is moving up, as you say, a 6.77%, 52 cents there. So pretty cool, but no double-digit moves yet. But it's starting to feel like the market's starting to move in the right direction. So kind of cool there. Solana also is up 5.45% to $24.78. So there we are. Those are the two standouts at the moment. But Bitcoin moving up nicely, 28,669. I like that. Looking good. So let's jump into some of the news around that. Before we do, let's move over to Bitcoin. And this is the Bitcoin chart. You guys know we've been watching this very carefully, which is kind of cool. We have obviously a couple of key things here politically. We've obviously got the window of opportunity open at the moment. We just talked about the Fed meeting there being a no change. So that's what the market is expecting, 99%. And that's looking good with the Jerome Powell's conversation as well. So there we are, good window for opportunity for crypto and the stock market. So pretty cool. The ETFs didn't do too much. They were a bit exciting at the beginning. Haven't really done much since that time at this stage. Also, I've got the leadership position in the United States Congress. We had Kim McCarthy get removed from Speaker of the House back here on the 3rd of October. So the House is looking for a permanent new leader as opposed to their caretaker at the moment. The other thing, of course, is that before he got out, was voted out. Kevin McCarthy put in a 45-day budget stop, which, calmed the markets down, and that pushed it all the way out over here to the 16th of November. But that has to be dealt with before that time comes up. So they need a new leader in the House there. But actually, there's a very important change trying to be pushed here with Matt Gaetz, which we're going to talk about in a second. But Jim Jordan is the front runner at the moment for leading that. He's my favorite one out of do it. I think he's the perfect guy to be leading it. So, and he's getting quite a bit of support, but he's still not quite over the hurdles yet. He's having to face up with some of the uni party people. So hopefully he can get them over the line. So let's have a quick look at Jim Jordan and, of course, the Speaker of the House vote there.
So I'll just say this: we made the pitch to members on the resolution as a way to lower the temperature and get back to work. We decided that wasn't where we're going to go. I'm still running for Speaker, and I plan to go to the floor and get the votes and win this race. But I want to go talk with a few of my colleagues. Particularly, I want to talk with the 20 individuals who voted against me, so that we can move forward and begin to work for the American people.
All right, so he's having to go back again. He's having to have meetings and try and get those last 20 over the line there to get to 217 is the amount of votes that he needs. So he's working on that, and he is definitely my favorite front runner there. And he's not establishment, right? So in the sense that he's not, he's really after the good for the people, which I really like. So big fan of that. So yeah, and then of course Matt Gaetz has been pushing for Jim Jordan, also pushing not to have the interim speaker get too many powers. So this is Matt Gaetz about that as well.
To empower McHenry dead at this point?
Yeah, it won't be offered by Republicans based on Speaker-designate Jordan's announcement just moments ago, and I think that's a good thing. The House of Representatives needs a speaker, not a speaker light. I don't support using temporary powers for Mr. McHenry, and I'm glad that our arguments seem to be persuasive to our colleagues.
But Jordan seemed to back this as his next strategy to give himself the time to cobble together more votes. I mean, this is something he's backed.
Well, I like Jim Jordan. I'm voting for Jim Jordan, but I don't agree with him on every subject. And I certainly don't agree that what would be best for the House of Representatives is a temporary speaker pro tem. I think we need to elect a speaker. I think we've got great folks in our conference. I think Jim Jordan sits atop that list, and I look forward to voting for him again today.
And one last question for you, because we are live here right now. How icy was it for you in that room? I heard it got pretty intense.
Well, I'm not for everyone, as it turns out, and I have my detractors, but I'm an attorney by trade. I don't get emotional about the presentation of arguments and listening to other people's arguments. It doesn't affect how I think about people. I was there to make the substantive argument that Speaker Light is a bad idea, just like Bud Light. But I far prefer us to continue having votes going forward. And, when I held out with Speaker McCarthy, we had goals. We had specific things we were fighting for. I think a reasonable question to those that are holding out and not voting for Jordan is, what are you fighting for? What are your goals? What are your objectives here other than just recalcitrance?
So there we are. That's from Matt Gaetz, and I wholeheartedly agree with Matt Gaetz. So a big supporter behind that move as well. They need a fundamental shift from the Uni Party, and of course, getting it back to focusing on the good of the people. So I'm happy for the disruption in the short term, but of course, we want to get a resolution in due course so that we can deal with the budget stopgap there as well. Which you can see is on the calendar here coming up. So that is important. So we need a leader sort of in here, and then we need to get the budget sorted out pretty quickly here, even if they do another stopgap until they get a more permanent solution. That's also on the plan there. Adam says the McConnell Brigade won't let Jordan be speaker because he'd do the right things. That's right. And that is the fundamental shift. And the battle has to happen at some stage, right? Is it going to happen now, which is more important, or is it going to, it hasn't happened in the past. So I think that is the right way to go. Brennan says, what's wrong with Bud Light? I actually thought it was pretty funny. We got Tin Top in the house there says, isn't Jerome the same guy that told everyone the situation was transitory? Seems like every time his lips move, he's lying. Yeah, they don't really know what they're doing. So, but in any case, at least the rate hike's not going up at the moment. So that's good news for us. All right, so that's some of the political stuff that's going on. That's going to play into the market stability, and it's always good to keep tabs of that. So, looking good for the Fed. Some optimism around the leadership, although still a hurdle there to go. And that is a window of opportunity, looks very much intact. And of course, crypto looking pretty good. Now, the news has been getting better and better. We've been talking about this, right? We talked about BlackRock as well the other day, remember, with the CEO talking about crypto and Bitcoin being quality assets. This is a game changer. The money is going to flow, looking really cool. And of course, we've seen some analysis recently on, billions, 150 billion, cash flow coming in. Once a Bitcoin ETF gets approved, and of course the market adding at least a minimum of $1 trillion to the market cap. And of course, we're currently at about 1.1 plus, because obviously the market's rising at the moment in terms of market cap, and 1.1 trillion. And of course, going back, over 2 trillion or so, looking really, really promising at a minimum. And so really it's starting to get exciting with where we're heading. Everything is heading in the right direction. For generally, there are a few challenges, but mostly I can see some really good things happening. That brings us into some more analysis here from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. The crypto winter may be over. So really the signs are lining up. The stars are aligning. It's starting to look much, much better as we lead into the final quarter of the year and maybe into Q1 of next year. Most of Bitcoin's gains come directly after the halving, and next such event is expected on April the 24th. Although I think the Bitcoin ETF will be far more bullish for crypto in terms of the actual money coming through there. And of course, we talked about BlackRock being one of the channels for that. The crypto winter may be over, Morgan Stanley Wealth Management said in a post on its website examining whether the recent bear market in digital assets has run its course. Based on current data, signs indicate that the crypto winter may be in the past and that crypto spring is likely on the horizon. So you guys have paid the price. You've done, you've paid the pain, and it's time to, start to see the markets rise, and you get back that reward for accumulating in the bear market. So still, really, everything's starting to look really pretty optimistic. The investment manager notes that the trough of Bitcoin and previous crypto winters has occurred 12 to 14 months after the peak. So that's a very important thing to remember. The investment manager notes that the trough of Bitcoin and previous crypto winters has occurred 12 to 14 months after the peak. The cryptocurrency reached an all-time high of around 68,000 in November 2021 and bottomed out a year later. A 50% increase in price from Bitcoin's low is typically a good sign that the trough has been achieved, says strategist Denny Galindo. The world's largest cryptocurrency has risen 7% a year to date and 77% from last year's lows. The magnitude of the Bitcoin drawdown is also important, the wealth manager said, noting that previous price troughs were about 83% off the respective highs. Bitcoin had dropped nearly 77% to about 16K by November 2022. Most of Bitcoin's gains come directly from after the halving, Galindo wrote, and this bull run period starts with the halving event and ends once the price of Bitcoin hits its prior peak. Roughly every 4 years, the reward of successfully mining a Bitcoin block is cut in half, an event known as the halving, and this reduces inflationary pressure on big BTC. By internationally limiting the supply of a new Bitcoin, the shortage caused by halving can affect the price of Bitcoin to potentially spur a bull run, Galindo said, adding that there have been 3 such runs on Bitcoin since its inception, each lasting about 12 to 18 months after the halving, which is coming up in April, right? But it's more bullish than that, right? Because Tom Lee from Sunstrat talking about that the Bitcoin ETF is going to be even more bullish. He considers it way more bullish even than the halving itself. So we really could get some exciting things happening in Bitcoin and crypto with this bullish alignment. So it's pretty neat there. So that is some of the cool news there from the markets, which are pretty cool. And so getting really optimistic about where we're heading here. And we're going to talk about that as well. So let me just pull up another video to highlight the bullishness of that, which I think is really cool. And this is a video I posted yesterday on the channel from Michael Novogratz here. So let's check out what he says about a Bitcoin ETF coming up, maybe even getting approved this year in 2023. And of course, he's actually applied for one. So he has a good idea of how that process is going. So let's hear from him.
The excitement / hype / I don't know what about the fact that not just BlackRock, but Fidelity and so many others have attempted at least or have applications in to try to get a Bitcoin ETF going. And the question is whether just because they're asking, is it going to be approved?
Yeah, it's going to get approved. We actually think, we're partnered with Invesco on an application. We think it happens this year in 2023. all the indications of dealing seem to be heading in the right direction, and that's from
what's Mike though, because I don't want people to. Mike, people are going to say he's talking his book. He owns a lot of Bitcoin. He wants this to happen, obviously. What would you pinpoint and specifically suggest that you're seeing around the approval process that is somehow different today than it was a year ago, than it was 2 or 3 years ago?
The most significant piece was the SEC lost in court, right? The judges said, "What are you talking about, SEC? You have a futures ETF and you're saying you can't have a cash ETF. That makes intellectually 0 sense." And I think that put the SEC on the back foot. And I think Gensler needs a win. There's a tremendous amount of pressure to do something that is rational. The American public wants this. BlackRock, who's the largest asset manager in the world, is out publicly saying we're going to get this done. And it's, I can't talk specific about conversations our guys are having, and that's on the Invesco side. But talking to all the other people, it just feels like the dialogue with the SEC is all heading in the right direction.
But when you say the dialogue with the SEC, have you seen a shift, a fundamental shift in the way the SEC, anecdotally, I imagine, would have to be the only way you'd know this, has changed the approach to thinking about this in light of that lawsuit? Which is to say, Lena Khan has lost lawsuits before. In her shifted the way she thinks about antitrust regulation in the United States.
Yeah, just the public filings back and forth and the comments you're reading online of people's comments are much more constructive, and when you go to the comment period, what they're asking about all seems much more specific than general, and that seems to be a good sign. We'll see. I don't have a crystal ball. This is my intuition.
Right. By the way, do you have any thought on what happened during this week and how that report came about? I know that organization is planning to investigate how the report was written, but there's some people that are anxious or worried that there's manipulation at play.
The last day for the SEC to file an appeal on that suit came and went, and so there was some expectation or excitement. And Cointelegraph, I believe, put out an errant report. We were sitting on our desk thinking, I don't think Cointelegraph is going to be the person who breaks, this story. I think the SEC probably has other sources if they want to break a story. And so I was a little skeptical myself. What it does tell you is the market will head higher on any positive news, right? You're going to have Invesco Salesforce, BlackRock Salesforce, Cathie Wood Salesforce, Fidelity Salesforce, all out selling Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has always been an instrument that is sold, not bought, right? It's getting people in the first time, explaining to them what it is. I think by far the most bullish thing that happened was Larry Fink on TV saying, don't worry about that rumor. Bitcoin's going up because people see it as a store of value and as a flight to quality asset. That's the largest asset manager in the world. And it's no longer talking about how it works or why it's important. It's just a recognized macro asset. And that's a huge psychological shift.
So super bullish, I think, from the Galaxy founder there and CEO. So I think that's pretty awesome. And he's talking about BlackRock, which we have played before. I'm going to play that one more time just so you guys pick out the how important this was. I mean, it's been really, really crazy how important the BlackRock guy has talked about crypto. It's just really mind-blowing. And there's pros and cons, of course, to BlackRock, but the positive, obviously, channeling big traditional money into crypto could be huge, right? Huge, especially potentially in front of the halving in April next year. So pretty cool. If we get an approval the end of this year, beginning of next year, man, the lineup of the stars could really align for that. So here, let's listen to the BlackRock CEO.
Clients around the world about the need for crypto. I mean, when you think about, I think some of this rally is way beyond the rumor. I think the rally today is about a flight to quality with all the, all the issues around the Israeli war now, global terrorism, And I think there's more people running into a fight to quality, whether that is in treasuries, gold, or crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality.
So we've saw today gold heading towards 2,000, and we've got crypto rallying now, and it looks like it's just the beginning. So really, really bullish stuff, everybody. It really is looking good. All right, so let's move on from that. That is the good news. That is our window of opportunity. It is playing out. And as we're speaking, Bitcoin is continuing to rise. We're at $28,750 on the old Bitcoin. You can see it popping through there, looking really, really good. What else we're going to say about this is that obviously our golden cross happened back here, and it is actually maintained, and it is rising. So that gap between the 200-day and the 50-day EMA is getting bigger. So very, very cool news there. All right, let's move on from that. We're going to get into Pulsechain, Pulse gains. Obviously, Pulsechain, what's hot? We're going to get into all that. And at the moment, we've got Pulsechain. This is day 160, 160 days. Isn't that awesome? And this is the results for day 160. We've got quadruple 0465. It is currently 47% of the mean sacrifice price. And it is up 4.8% today, which is great. That's great news. Pulsex is at quadruple 0124, so Pulsex still very much discounted from the mean price. It's only 12.5% of the mean price sacrifice, so still a lot of potential, huge upside on Pulsex. Just a matter of being patient. 6%, almost 6.2% up today. And one pulse will get you 3.75 Pulsex at the moment, so that ratio is dropping down a little bit in favor of Pulsex today. And of course, the buy and burn has been going fantastic. 487.6 billion Pulsex has been bought and burned. This is part of the superior tokenomics founded by Richard Hart and his team for Pulsechain and Pulsex ecosystem. And man, it's working like a charm. And at the moment, that is equivalent to 2.36% of the public supply. So good news, just sitting in the background there, eating up already 2.36% after 160 days of the public supply of Pulsex, which is pretty cool. And obviously, we ignore the origin account and consider it inactive supply. Now, incentive token there is at 99, just under $1, actually, just under $1, up 4.3%. The ratio to Pulse is just down a tad from yesterday, 21,405. So it was 21,500, I think, yesterday. So it's down a little bit from that. Well over 14 million incentive tokens in existence, and so far we've had 108,322 incentive tokens burned through the TYRH GameFi protocol, third-party protocol there from Jacob and the BNB PulsePod team. PHEX is looking pretty good too, up 6.35% or 6.48% there. It just changed. We're at 0087, so 87/100th of a penny. And as you guys all know, we want that to get over 1 cent, right? Say goodbye to 1 cent. That's where we really like to be. And start heading towards the 2-3 cent range. Yes, please. I'm sure the market would love that. And it's all self-fulfilling, right? The higher it gets, the more people it attracts, and the better it does. It's just the way it goes. And of course, at the moment, we've got EHEX there at 0045. EHEX has had a really nice move over the last couple of days. And of course, 9-inch DEX is going to have a high yield hex pool from the looks of it. That's been signaled. And so good news all around there with that. PHEX and EHEX today is now at a combined 1.32 cents. Isn't that awesome? 1.32 cents is slowly creeping up there, the combined price of HEX and the EHEX. So onwards and upwards. We would really love that to continue up into the 2-3 cent range. That'd be pretty cool. One PHEX will get you 187 Pulse at the moment, and one PHEX will get you 1.93 EHEX. So that's definitely fallen from maybe 4 days ago. We were at about 2.5 EHEX to 1 Pulse. Now you get 1.93. So it's definitely that gap is closed between EHEX and PHEX, but still quite a gap there at the moment. So that is kind of the numbers. Let's have a quick look at the charts. The charts are looking pretty good. This is Pulse versus Dime, and look at that, up 5%. And we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 days up. So it's nice. And we just started a brand new candle here. We've just rolled over the day. We're 5 minutes into this new candle, and we've got a brand new candle there, green, green, green. And of course, as you guys know, we have a elongated ascending triangle in here. And of course, we're wanting this green arrow to play out, right? This green arrow, up, and up we go. Now we got rejected a couple of times, 1, 2, maybe 3 times, and we're trying to bounce off that And let's see if we've certainly got good news. So can we really get a big giant green candle and break over the 5,000? That's that yellow line. That's the 5,000 mark. So we want to break over that. And of course, ultimately, it would be really nice to get over 5,600. This is my view here, which is pretty cool. We do have an upward Bollinger Band. So that top blue line and the bottom blue line is the Bollinger Bands. The top blue line is the top 95% of the price range. The bottom blue line is the bottom 5% of the price range. And we have a nice little upward trend in that, which is pretty cool. The orange line, of course, is the 50% price range. And of course, that is, it's a bit flat at the moment, but that's going to slowly start moving up. So everything is heading in the right direction. And fingers crossed we can bust through this 5,000 level. What do we got there? The RSI is still not too bad. It's down at 60. So we might have a bit of a cooling off, but that's going to not too bad at the moment. And let's have a look at the shorter time frames, 4 hours. 4 hours there, and let's bring up the RSI. The RSI has just hit the overbought territory, so we might have a bit of a cooling off in here, but really we can stay up. We can go up to 80, 90, be quite comfortable there for a little while, so it may not run out of gas, but definitely that is the play there. If we get some more volume in, we could continue to push high here, maybe have a breather before we try to break that 5,000 mark. That's definitely could be in play there. All right, that is on the old Pulsechain. Let's go to Pulsex. Pulsex has a flatter Bollinger Bands, but it is slowly rising. We've got slightly higher lows. And of course, we're actually closer to critically breaking out here as well. We're currently at quadruple 0124. We've been up, in this zone here before. Really want to break that 1300 level. So we're pretty close to doing that. And that would be very bullish for Pulsex. And like I said, in the future, I'm expecting Pulsex to have a ratio swap, versus Pulse. And see a greater climb in Pulsex at some stage. There's a couple of catalysts that may do that. Maybe the DAO, maybe single-side staking, maybe the Power City Earn protocol with the PXDC collateralizing Pulsex. So that's definitely out there, and maybe some other third-party protocols as well. There's lots of things that could help the Pulsex and incentive token get that relativity play. What else we got going? Let's have a look at the incentive token. That's almost back at $1. We've had 4 green days in the price there, so it's kind of cool too. Let's have a look at the ratio. The ratio at the moment is still shedding a little bit there, but it's slowed down the last 2 days. We're at 21,404, and of course the Pulsex farms continue to tick away with the yield. Let's bring those up actually, and plan to do that, but let's do it since we're on day 160. Let's bring up the yields and see what they are on day 160. You can always come back to this video and see what the yields were. That's a random thing, but who knows what comes up there. We got Pulsex and Pulse is at 8.8% on the APR. We got Hex and Pulse there at 12%, so still looking pretty tidy, right? And the Bridgeton stables, DAI, USDC, and USD Tether all around 52%, which is pretty cool. USD Tether there at 53.4%. And of course, Wrapped ETH, Bridgeton to Pulsechain. These are all paired with Pulsechain, of course. Is at 37%, so not too bad either on that one. The incentive token pools are looking very good, of course. The one versus Pulse is at 51%, and the one versus Pulsex is at 46.5%. So it's still very exciting turns yields there after 160 days in the pools, which is pretty badass, I think. Yeah, like I say, we may get the DAO at some stage. We know that the Coast gave us an update yesterday telling that the Pulsechain team, Dev, were working on things. Maybe we'll get, single-side staking pools as well. We will see what happens in its space. Like I say, there's a couple of things that could happen here that could be pretty bullish. We will see. Obviously, Richard's got a civil case in November as well. So that probably might be a pause period, but let's see what features come to the market. Let's move away from Pulse and Pulsex. Let's get into PHEX. PHEX here, look, the charts look pretty similar, don't they? But we had a nice little upward trend here. We had tightening Bollinger Bands, and then it had to break out one way or the other. It broke down, and of course now we're breaking up to the upside. We're going to have our fourth attempt to break out of this range and get over 92, 9300th of a penny, and we're getting very close here. I think this is already past Brendan's bullish mark here. I think it was 86, so definitely looking good on the old price chart here at the moment. So very, very exciting here, and we're going to get a breakout to the upside. Once it goes, and then we have to find a new support level. So looking good on the Bollinger Band here for PHEX. And we've got plenty of room to move. 60 on the RSI. Very, very cool. And of course, let's look at the shorter time frames. We're pretty elevated here on the shorter time frames, obviously after having this nice little pump. So yeah, it's could just zigzag back and forth here. We got room to move. So pretty cool. We'll be watching that into Friday, into the weekend as well. All right, so that is kind of EHEX, PHEX, sorry, and EHEX there. Man, EHEX there, the poor cousin is not so poor. The poor cousin has won the lotto, and the poor cousin is rising up here. So that's kind of cool. We're up at 0044. Nice there as well. And, of course, broken through kind of key resistances here. Like to see this continue on, maybe get up to over half a penny. And that would be pretty bullish too. And then maybe consolidate a little bit. That's possibly could happen there. The RSI is in the overbought territory on the daily, so probably may cool off before it does that, but it can still always move higher, especially with the sentiment moving well, generally speaking, in the markets. And of course, on the 4-hourly there, we've been running into the overbought territory for some time, but we can keep going there if the rest of the market wills it, and it does look good for that at the moment. So definitely RSI heating up, but a bit of room to move. So that is EHEX there, looking good. And what a move there. And of course, the 9-inch going to have pools, high yield pools for Hex, which is bullish. Remember, 9X is launching on both Ethereum and Pulsechain. So it's awesome. The cool thing about like 9Inch not only is it offering an alternative for high yield on Hex, but also offering going to be eating some of Uniswap's lunch, right? And that's what we want to do. Pulsechain is real DeFi, and we want to start eating the lunch of Uniswap. It is really important that we show the market that, yes, we're a leader, but we're also going to take market share, and market share that represents true DeFi. We can't just turn off Pulse. You can't just turn off any token that you want to. You can't just monitor people. You can't just add fees and things like that. The market will create a solution to keep DeFi true and crypto true to its principles. And that's what I love about it, right? That's what we love about it. So very cool. That is sort of very exciting. Very exciting. All right, so that is kind of cool on the markets. Let's get into the validators. Validators continue to break records on Pulsechain. We're up to 46,449 active validators on Pulsechain, and Pulsechain really is the people's chain. Awesome, right? Awesome. And of course, breaking new records with the amount of Pulse staked by the validators, 1.49 trillion. Let's see if we're almost at the 10% mark. We're getting so close. Let's see if we have done that. 1.49. Let's go. 1.49 divided by 15. And we are at 9.93%. I can already tell by the 1.49, but we're at 9.93% of the total public amount of Pulse in existence is now staked with validators, which is awesome. So almost 10%. And of course, we've got liquid loans coming that's going to collateralize Pulse and potentially get tons of Pulse off the market as well. Things are really starting to heat up. We've got the market sentiment is starting to change. Potentially a lot of money going to flood into crypto and Bitcoin. As the BlackRock CEO says, it's quality asset. Awesome, man. Awesome. Let's bring it on. It's that traditional money into real crypto. That's going to be a lot of fun. So pretty nice there at the moment. And of course, looking good there. So very cool on the old validators. Of course, Pulsechain is super cheap and super fast as well. It is the first full system stake copy of Ethereum on the 10th of May, 10:36 UTC time. So looking really, really good. We got at the moment the beats are a bit higher than they have been the last couple of days, up 788,000. And of course, the Pulse X swap there is at 1 cent. Pulse coin transfer is at 8/100th of a penny, and a PRC20 transfer is at 0.2 of a penny. We're 342 times cheaper than Ethereum, and Ethereum has been relatively cheap, about 10 days or so longer than it was last year equivalently, when it started moving from low beats around 5, 6, 7 Gwei up into the teens. It's still been relatively low, and at the moment we're 1,203 times cheaper than Bitcoin, and Bitcoin obviously on a rally at the moment. So Pulsechain super cheap, and the cool thing about being relatively cheap is that you have got you can do compounding interest. That's the kind of the eighth one of the world, and being able to do that cheap for the retail book is very important for the success of the chain, particularly at the beginning. And of course, over time, of course, a highly used chain, utilized chain will get more valuable. And of course, Richard's talking about that many times, which is probably a good place to play that little video of Richard about the chain getting more valuable over time. I think this still applies. So the back end of this is a little bit deprecated, but most of this update from Richard some time ago is valid.
If it accrues so much value and gets so many users, yeah, the fees will go up, and you'll just get really, really rich holding Pulse watching. Oh no, more really, really rich people. Like, you can't, here's the thing. You cannot force a free market to keep things cheap, because then crappy use cases that aren't valuable will outbid useful and valuable use cases. And do you want your chain with limited capacity to be filled up with crap? No, you don't want your chain filled up with crap. You want it filled up with nice, good things. Well, then how do you know what the difference between nice and crap is? By bidding. And the people that see more value in the chain pay more to use the chain. And then your limited resource chain, through the bidding mechanism, is filled with the most valuable things that people can fill it with. And so this like socialist USSR decree that, oh, we're just going to have cheap fees forever, it doesn't work, because there's a finite amount of space and you have to allocate it to certain users. And who should you allocate it to? Those that can most afford it, because they're bidding with their money for how valuable the transaction is. So the solution to a limited resource isn't to screw around with the pricing. The solution to a limited resource is to create more of the resource. So the Ethereum chain is full. Great. Well, we're going to make one with 4 times more throughput, and it won't be full. It'll be empty, and let's go fill it up.
All right, so some good insights there from Richard about the chain over time. And of course, we see this. We're about to have our second wave of projects launch on Pulsechain, and it's going to be absolutely epic, creating a whole ton of new value and a lot of real quality projects. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see that value chain just ramp up. More users get attracted, the price goes up, better utilities. Really is exciting times to be on Pulsechain. Let me just remove a few things here, and we're going to get into the main categories. We're going to get into PRC20 categories, and then into the project updates. We've got Eddie and Halcy's cup and handle in the chart. Woohoo! Wally says loving it. Also, PZN are doing great. Yeah, we're going to talk about PZN in a second. Coming up there too. We've got 2 protocols for the Zen ecosystem dropping on the Pulsechain on the 23rd of October. So we're going to talk about those, Zen Crypto and, of course, DBZen Crypto NFTs. And, of course, DBZen NFTs just launched on multiple chains. Pulsechain's coming up. And Pulsechain's going to be, in my view, one of the 2 or 3 top chains for Zen. And because we know how amazing Pulsechain is, and if Pulsechain's amazing, that's going to make Zen more valuable, and vice versa. So I think it's going to be a win-win there. Cool observation. Brendan says 8,500 was my target for PX. Nice. And of course, Matt's in the house as well. Matt and Bali, howdy all. Good to see you, Matt. And I like your little critters there, little people and stuff like that. Sandy Beach, looking good. All right, let's bring it in the PRC20s. We've got this is my custom list, of course, of PRC20s. We got liquidity is how we're sorting it. So the big liquidity at the top, small liquidity at the bottom, so we get better measures there. We got PDI is still in the game. It hasn't gone away. It may have chilled out here at the moment, but it's actually up today, up 14%, and we're sitting at 0.00824. Obviously, it's still miles away from hitting the magical 1 cent mark up here at this yellow line. But it's still in the game, isn't it? Still in the game, and obviously there's a lot of other projects coming, a lot of other things that it can attract attention. But PDI is still on the move there. So we'll be continue to watch that. Bitcoin is up 2% at $96. Let's have a quick look at that at the moment. Obviously, this has been particularly popular as well, and we're definitely up off the bottom at $72. So that's still looking pretty good, that chart in my view. But has to do some action soon, I guess. That is it. Let's jump away to what else here? Tropa. Of course, Tropa has been the talk of the town. Magical Tropa. That is up 17% today, but that has been chilling down at the bottom too, hanging out with the homies in the ghetto. I don't know, but that is chilling down there. And is it going to have another rally? We'll see. We'll see what happens there with the old Tropa. Teddy Bear has had a great day in the office. People were counting it down, but has a great day. Look at that, pumped. It was down at 803,800. It's now at 806,300, and that is a 71% gain on a 24-hour basis. So pretty good for the old Teddy Bear. And of course, a Pulse. Pulsechans? Yeah, Pulsechans made a Teddy Bear NFT collection, I think, from memory. Yeah, just in the last couple of days or a week ago, something like that. Treasury Bill is up 44%. Let's have a quick look at Treasury Bill. That is up too. So had a nice little green bounce off the bottom, though. Remember that. But look how high it used to be. My goodness, it used to be up at over 1 cent. So pretty crazy there. Is at 0.0022 at the moment on the old treasury bill. Very speculative, right? Those just take that into account. Very speculative. So that's some of the there's some of the bigger pools over 100 grand that's got liquidity, and that is the results for those at the moment. Now, two that we really want to keep an eye on, and that is because the 9-inch DEX could launch at any time, and that is SHIB and Pepe, the two big meme coins. SHIB has got 46k liquidity. It is actually up 7% today, and that's been rising the last couple of days. Look at it on a historic basis there on the Pulsechain. Let me get rid of the summary there. But that is on a historic chain, and this is definitely one that you might want to speculate on for the 9-inch DEX. This could very well get support as one of the meme pools there. Maybe not straight away, but certainly pretty early, being one of the two big branded meme coins. Once again, not financial advice, but it seems like a reasonable thing to happen there. The other one, of course, is Pepe. Pepe as well has not been doing as well. It's consolidated, but it hasn't. Obviously, we've already seen SHIB already start to rise, but we've got consolidation here after a pump back on the 14th. And it's still holding there. So nice little entry potentially. Obviously not financial advice, but there we are. Speculative play for 9-inch. Seems reasonable. And of course, if a bull market happens, maybe the Pepe and the SHIB, regardless of the 9-inch DEX, have a nice rally as well. So that's kind of cool. It is on those. Always good to point those out. There's many others on the list, of course, but they're not really doing too much. Oh, Matic's not too bad, but the liquidity is very small. It's up 25% on Matic. But the liquidity is only a couple $1,000. So, there's kind of a standout there. All right, let's get into the meme coins for 9-inch DEX. Woohoo! Actually, I've got those up already. So let's jump over to 9-inch DEX. We're going to have a look at those separately. Where'd the ETH go? Had a super rally overnight. This is the hourly chart for where'd the ETH go. And look at this. Went all the way up. Look at this thing. Woohoo! Got up to $1.30. Yeah, boy. We were watching this live in the Discord yesterday. Which is just some of the things we do while we're eating our lunch or something like that. we went for 53 cents all the way up to $1.30. That's how we love crypto. We love crypto. It's had a bit of profit taking in here, but we're back up at $1.06. We're at $1.06 at the moment, so it's kind of cool. Now let's go to the RSI. Let's bring up the RSI on here. The RSI has really cooled off with the hourly, so that's good news on the RSI there. When it gets overheated like this, look at this. Very, very difficult to pick when it's on an uptrend. But man, it was over in the overbought territory, over 70 for some time. And let's have a 4 hourly there. Give you some indications. Yeah, so it was pretty overheated, and it was only a matter of time, I guess, before someone took some profits, and that's when we got this red candle. Look at that red candle, and of course it came back down. But that means it's back in out of the overbought territory, I should say. And yeah, looking pretty good. And on the daily, let's have a look on the daily there. Look at that. Woo! Hot dog and a dog. Look at that. It was massively in the overbought territory, up at 84, 85, really, really crazy. But had the little profit taking there. And hey, look, 9-inch still hasn't launched, so this thing could launch at any time. I did check before the live stream, and that's still going, right? So look at that thing. Woohoo! Volume really picked up, and hey, look, it may be unrelenting. It may continue to go up. This could super pump on the 9-inch DEX pools. We will see. Not financial advice, of course, but that's looking pretty good. Now, the other one is Paul Pleb. Paul Pleb also, let's have a go for the hourly. This is the hourly profile here. Pretty similar movement with a bit of selling off here, but we're holding up at 507,200. Looking too bad, and we've cooled off on the hourly for the RSI. Let's have a look at the 4 hour. 4 hourly there, obviously similar looking pattern there, and we've cooled off in the RSI too, down at 60. And let's go to the daily on these as well. Daily, we've just entered the overbought territory, but only just at 73 there. And yeah, still 9-inch not launched yet, so definitely Pulse Dodge still potential to continue to Paul Pleb, continue to move up there. So it's pretty cool on Paul Pleb. All right, let's go to Pulse Dodge. Pulse Dodge, pretty good entry. This is probably my favorite one for an entry because it's on the daily. We're on the daily there. The daily, we're not even in the overbought territory. We haven't even been in there compared to Pulse Dodge and where the ETH go. On the hourly, you can see we're way down on the RSI at 54, and we've had a bit of cooling off here as well. On the 4 hourly, likewise, we were in the overbought territory on the 4 hourly, but we have cooled off there and had a bit of a cooling. We've got all the way up to 0058, which is pretty cool, and we're currently at 005, so at half a penny at the moment is the old PLD. And remember, PLD doesn't have many holders on it compared to the other tokens. It has got very little. So it's kind of cool. I'll give that a rocket. That is the pick of the day. And yeah, the 9-inch store hasn't launched yet, so bullish news on that, really. We'll keep watching this, obviously. All speculation, but we're playing probability on the 9-inch DEX launching. That's kind of where we are at the moment. So up, up, up and away. So pretty cool on that. 9-inch, we can't wait for that. That's $16 million meme DEX. Going to be launching on both Ethereum and Pulsechain. I think I'm excited about that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Right. Let me see here. Remember, I didn't promote it at the time that it was out, so just take that into account. I'm just excited. I think it's going to be actually a good utility for both Pulsechain and, of course, it's vampiring on Ethereum, which is pretty cool. All right, so that is kind of the highlight there. Let's have a look there. Mega launched yesterday. I covered that yesterday. It's like a reflection token that has had dramatic, look at that thing on Mega, make Ethereum great again, and that has rocketed all the way up here. Got to 8 zeros 2,300, has been pulled back here down to 8 zeros 1,650. So it's down 23%, but had a huge rally after its launch. That's on the daily there. Not bad at all on the old Mega. Very speculative, but it's doing well there on the reflection token. What else are we going to talk about? Axis Alive, the influencer there. That one there is holding up. Which seems to have chilled out here in the mid $8,500. And of course, that's the Axis Alive one there. What else we got going on here on the list there? Hex Orange Address is down 3.5%. Let's have a look at this. This is from Abit, another influencer, I understand. So this is at 0.6 of a penny. Had a very good rally and chilling out at the moment. So these charts look pretty good, don't they? All the ones we've looked at. So people have been having a good time with that. Reflux here, RFX. That is also, look at that chart as well. Another one of these super pumps. So yeah, looking pretty good, chilling out at the moment. But once again, not financial advice. You don't want to buy the top, right? You don't want to buy the top. You got to be careful there. All right, so look at the hourly on this one. That's the hourly. I don't have the RSI on there, but you probably want to check the RSI to see what that looks like. See whether it's overbought or something like that. So that is kind of the play. What else there? We got Dodge is up 10%. Everything's looking pretty good. More token got more token from Trayvon, another big influencer. 30,000 subs. 50,000 on X social platform. That is up the last couple of days. So that's kind of cool. Really pretty violent. Then got sold off up the last couple of days. That has been put onto Internet Money Wallet. So that's the good news for Trayvon's more token, currently at 14 cents. That is where it's at the stage. What else there? I think that's kind of it there. Yeah, pretty much those are most of the ones I want to talk about on this list. So that is the meme tokens. And of course, the big story still to play out is potentially an imminent launch of 9-inch DEX on both Ethereum and Pulsechain, which leads us to category number 4, the biggest category, which is the Pulsechain one. And of course, this is an interesting play, right? So we see a lot of the market, they tend to move from project to project in terms of moving capital and pumping projects. And of course, a lot of the good utilities sometimes can get forgotten. And yet they're the ones actually making money. They're the ones actually businesses. They're the one actually turning over fees from swapping and things like that. So money's going to revert back to those at different times. So particularly when there's a quiet period, you'll probably find money will go back to the ones that are actually making money. So rather than speculative. So just remember that, get that in the back of your mind and keep track of some of the blue chip utilities here on the Pulsechain projects. Now, by liquidity, we've got Algo up 6%, SparkSwap up 10%, nice little rebound there for SparkSwap. Tetra up 6% there, TRH up 4%, Batias up 3% there, Beetroot up 2%, and we're going to talk about Beetroot, right? So we'll talk about it in a second. Time token up 16% from Internet Money. Pulse Reflections here, PRC, another reflections token, 21% there. They've been giving out huge reflections, of course. Is it well over 6 billion, is it? Something like that. So it's a big number. So they're doing pretty well. Pulse Kittens up 28%. Pulse Kittens has been doing pretty good. I think they've been pretty unrelenting in their rise. Look at that. Pulse Kittens have been doing very well on that. Those are kind of it by liquidity. Those are all over 10,000. They're kind of the star performers. So yeah, Pulse Kitten doing pretty well indeed on that one. Now, what's the biggest losers? Let's have a look at the biggest losers. That doesn't mean they're a bad project, just that the price is down. And we've got Mintra there. Okay, so Mintra's just launched. We're going to talk about that. So stay tuned. So let's get into the projects updates. What's hot on Pulsechain? And of course, let's go to Mintra. Mintra has just launched before the live stream. And of course, I know it's a little, probably 2 hours ago now or so. 9:37, so it's a few hours before that, actually. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, so 4 hours ago, almost 4 hours ago, Mintra launched their token. Now, the platform hasn't launched the NFT marketplace. Remember, this was about a $10 million sacrifice project, and so it's right up there amongst the big sacrifice projects. Mintra there also front run. It's also being represented by Gerardo, a big influencer in the space of Pulsechain and Hex. Mintra token PRC20 is now live on Pulsechain mainnet. The contract address is OX20, ends in 5944. Now, I have posted this in the Discord under chat number 2, which is the Pulsechain project chats there, so you can get access to that in the main chat in the Discord. The link is in the video description, and I'm sure one of the moderators may post the Discord link in the chat there if you want to join up. Your mint, if you're a sacrifice for the project, your mint mainnet tokens are now under your dominion. In other words, you're in control of them, and they start off at the zero value, which implied that no liquidity was being provided by the Mintra team at this stage, at least. So that was important to know. The Mintra NFT platform itself, so the main protocol and all its remaining contracts, marketplace, launchpad, staking, buy and burn, these are the individual contracts that support sitting in the background behind the platform UI, will go live on Pulsechain mainnet within the next 7 days, so within the next week there. So that is kind of cool. This is probably one of the most anticipated NFT marketplaces. We have 4 already running, and of course we've got 3 big ones to come, particularly Mintra and Pixel Park from Power City, and of course 9mm also is bringing a NFT market as well. So 3 big ones to come. Mintra probably the most anticipated to come, and like I say, Pixel Park probably not far behind that as well. Pixel Park does boast that they're going to have some features not seen in NFT markets, so we look forward to that. We love innovation in the Pulsechain, so excited about that too. But Mintra is pretty slick, and you guys know I do really like what they've done in the space there, and yeah, pretty cool. So that is it from them. Now, obviously, like all the NFT marketplaces, they have to compete for volume, and they do have some advantages. They've obviously got an influencer. They got a lot of followers. They had a big sacrifice, so they've got lots of cool things. They've got a fantastic product. So it's all got to launch flawlessly. So there's operational risk until that plays out. But apart from that, they've got a lot of strengths, and of course, they'll have to compete in the marketplace and help grow the marketplace for NFTs as well. So exciting times. We'll be looking out for that success on Pulsechain. So that is Mintra, and of course a pool has been set up. The market's always set up a pool, and currently it's got $18,000 in liquidity in it. So that's really risen. When I first looked at this, it was actually pretty small. I can't remember what it was, 5,000 or something. I can't remember. But now it's up to 18K. So more people are adding liquidity into the pool. So very, very nice. The market is responding. The price is down 84% from the opening, but the opening price is normally pretty silly. We see that a lot as well. And at the moment, we're kind of seeing that move around here. It's currently at just over half a penny for the mint price. Now, I'm not actually sure what the sacrifice price. Let me know in the chat there if you know what the mint sacrifice price. I haven't had a chance to look for that. But if you know the sacrifice price average, let me know, or something to that effect, to give us a ballpark of what maybe the sacrifice price was. It's currently at 0.056. I know many of you have participated in the Mintra sacrifice, so congratulations to you. It's finally here. The day has finally arrived, and the platform looks like it'll be out within the next week. Big shout out to Gerardo and the team. I think they've done a brilliant job in carefully checking and auditing and getting a thing up to scratch, making it look primo professional. It is a blue chip NFT marketplace, and it may end up being one of the true well-known brands on Pulsechain too, like OpenSea, for example, is well-known. Although it's a little bit crappy in some ways, but it's still well known on the old Ethereum. But that's kind of the play there on the old Mintra, and of course that has only been open for a couple of hours, which is pretty neat. You can see there, this is the hourly chart, and if we look at the 15-minute chart, you can sort of see how that's performing there at the moment. So some people might speculate this. We might see a nice big speculation pump later on, but obviously not financial advice. And that is where we are at this stage. Now, how much is in supply? We've got 1.6 million tokens in the pool here. It's got a lot of rockets there. I don't know why people give red flags to this, because it's really bullish there. 46 rockets, look at that. But we go to the mint token on the actual Pulsechain block scout, and we can see that there are 2.4 billion mint tokens in existence and 109 holders on this particular list here at the moment. So that's kind of cool. All right, that is the address, and you can see 5944 is the same address as this one here, 5944. So that's looking pretty good. All right, OXO27, yeah. All right, so that is it at the moment. What else are we going to say about it? I think that's it. So that, congratulations. Look forward to the actual protocol launch. We'll be covering it on this channel as well. Let's just have a quick check, see if anyone else has made comments about that in the chat. We're up to 1 hour and 5 minutes, so I'm conscious of the time. Let's jump back up here. Sandy Beach says, check my SAC wallets. Mint should be there, even if you did the Legion pool. Okay, cool. Thanks, Sandy. What's the Mint address? Let me pull it up here. So I'm going to post the link to this tweet in the chat there, and you can get hold of the address from the tweet. So that is it right there. Bam, that is the link there to the announcement. So congratulations over there. Let's go back up here and have a quick look at some more comments. Let me just get back into there. Lies Beneath posted it. Thank you very much, Lies, for that too. Sandy says, be careful with the Mint contracts. There's apparently some fake copies out there, so be careful. Make sure you're interacting always with the official contract, and I posted that link there too. What else have we got going? Let me just jump through some of that. Brennan says, I knew a dip was coming from launch for Mintra. I'll DCA and slowly, says Brennan. So there we are. That's some insights from Brennan, the TA specialist. Hello from the PRS community, says Vinny. Yeah, well done to you, Vinny. Congratulations. You've been earning some nice reflections there. So that is Mintra. Let's move on from Mintra there. And, of course, always double-check the official sites and all that, like I say. But that is the numbers. Now, the other one, of course, coming up within, so that's within a week, launching of Mintra, is Beetroot. Beetroot within potentially the next 2 weeks. Which is pretty exciting. So I'm excited about it. I hope you are too. Beetroot, of course, the big privacy hub on Pulsechain. They have multiple products on Pulsechain. And, of course, they're about to launch their next big one. Maybe 2 things that they're going to be launching. So that's kind of cool. So the best thing, in our humble opinion, since Hex is about to be launched on Pulsechain, and that is SugarBeet. SugarBeet, a stake and shake. And, of course, we have covered this before, but it's getting very close now. 2 more weeks, as they say. That's the question here. So it's getting very, very close indeed on this one. So pretty cool. This person here says, oh no, please guys, don't give us 2 more weeks thing. But this is coming up pretty closely on Beetroot, and team keeps delivering. Well, I'm very excited about a Beetroot team. And of course, looking good. So that is coming up within the next 2 weeks. So very exciting. But we've also got the 9-inch 9mm. 9mm is another ecosystem. We talk about the big ecosystems dropping on Pulsechain. We've got more ecosystems coming all the time. How do we define an ecosystem? Or really something that's got multiple protocols, not just a team that's doing one protocol, but one that's building out a whole ton of protocols or suite of protocols. And of course, we've got teams like Liquid Loans, PH Universe, Power City, 9mm now, of course. There really are more and more coming. We talk about the Zen ecosystem. They've got multiple dApps. It's a little different, but they've got multiple protocols coming as well. We've got 2 of those launching on the 23rd, of course, of October, coming up in a few days. And, of course, they're here at 9mm Pro. Feels confident that their flagship product will be deployed to mainnet possibly by the end of a week. So we're talking about that. It's going to be pretty exciting. And I believe they're referring to their Pulse OGs and, of course, the token 9mm. So I think that's what they're referring to here. And, of course, they've got the NFT marketplace coming. They've also got their V3 DEX coming as well. And, yeah, pretty exciting. And what else? They've got something else coming as well. I just forget what it is. I've got the list here, actually, so that's pretty easy. NFT marketplace, V3 DEX. They've got their stakers of 9mm token, receive the protocol revenue share, which is going to be pretty cool. Yeah, looking good. So multi-chain DEX, multi-chain NFT marketplace, and GMX fork, a perpetual exchange. It looks like they're going to be entering into that market as well. Obviously, we have Famous that's already in that market, but looks like that GMX is also going to be entering that market too. And we've seen how successful Famous has done that. They've been very successful at that launch. Obviously, we've got that one that got rugged as well, but we won't talk about that one. You guys know which one I'm talking about. But anyway, 9mm coming pretty closely So we could have another launch here. We've got multiple launches launching this week. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So get excited. So that is coming from 9mm ecosystem. So hats off to them and wish them the best with that. So that's kind of cool too. All right, that is kind of the projects coming up, which is pretty exciting. Let's quickly get into the Hex Daily Stats to wrap up the live stream. We're up to an hour and 10 minutes. We've got the day results out for Ethereum, Hex on Ethereum, hex.com. Check it out. 19th of October, day 1417 on Ethereum. We got the price up 8.9%. Woohoo! Yesterday we didn't read the results, but yesterday we were up 19.5%. We didn't read that out yesterday; it wasn't out. But we got the price at 00451, hitting back almost a half a penny. That's getting kind of bullish. And of course, let's have a look at the payout yesterday: 6.758. Today's payout 6.655. We've had a jump in the share rate on both days, 27 and 52. The share rate is heading towards 30,000. We're at 29,940. It's pretty amazing. Let's have a look at the average mining length on Ethereum is 7.08 years, and the APY for existing T-share miners is 39%. Looking at the ownership pool, we're up 10,000 T-shares yesterday, 1,400 today, and we're up at 9,770,000 T-shares on the old Ethereum side there for Hex. Now, you can obviously mine Hex on Ethereum or on Pulsechain, just to give you context. Let's look at the lock percentage of coins. 9.33% is locked on the old Ethereum. We had a pretty good penalties yesterday, 2.3 million. Today, pretty modest at 346,000, and we got about 65 million in the reward pool today. Looking at the growth numbers, we're up 35 liquid holders yesterday, up 53 liquid holders today. So that's good on the liquid Hex. The miner numbers continue to slide. We're down 5 on both days. We're sitting at 119,887 miners on the old Ethereum. Moving to Pulsechain, of course, day 160 on Pulsechain for Ethereum. For Hex, I should say, for Pulsechain, and that's the 9th of October. We got the price there at 00869, up 6.2%. So we've had 4 up days. It's nice to see a string of up days, and you guys know we've been waiting for that string of up days, and it's nice to see that in the chart. Today's payout is 6.6 Hex. The share rate increase is 13 to 30,101, and of course already over 30,000 there. Average mining length is 6.89, and that is the average mining length there. APY 37.8% for existing T-share miners. Looking at the ownership pool, we're up 10, almost 11,000 T-shares on the old Pulsechain. We're sitting at 9,812,000 T-shares. So there's more T-shares on the Pulsechain side in the ownership pool. Looking at the lock percentage of coins, 9.63% of Hex is locked on the old Pulsechain. We've had 163,000 in penalties, so even probably about half what we got on the Ethereum chain, sitting just under 65 million in the old reward pool. And then finally, to rack up the growth numbers, look at this. Woohoo! Up 223 liquid holders on the old Pulsechain side, and up 25 miners on the miners. We're sitting 124,624. So, you know, we're heading towards almost 5,000 more miners on the Pulsechain than we have on the Ethereum side, which is pretty impressive. So pretty cool. But we are getting a bit of conversion. It's not conversion. We're getting a bit of convergence in the old Pulse and Hex price there. So let's see whether that closes gap. But that's pretty cool. So that's day 160 and day 1417. We're on day 1418 now, and day 161 for Pulsechain. Hex.com. Check it out. Those are results. And we love T-share mining, and we love getting paid every day. That's pretty much the way we go. So pretty cool. Looking good there. I'm going to have a quick look at the stable coins while we're here, because I'm also going to look at that, and we can see that the stable coin for CST, if you want to directly on-ramp to Pulsechain, the link's in the video description, is our community leader, Brian. That's his link. You get 5,000 white tokens if you onboard directly to Pulsechain with fiat currency, and the link's in the video description, and it's over 50 countries, I think, is what's eligible for that. So definitely check it out. And we're currently pegged on CST about, almost $1, pretty much $1, which is where it's supposed to be, which is pretty cool. So really cool. Let's finally look at the Zen. I was going to look at PZen because we've got 2 protocols launching on Pulsechain from Zen, which is Zen Crypto and Zen DBZen Crypto. Those are 2 of the most successful protocols launched on other chains like Ethereum. They're going to be launching on Pulsechain on the 23rd, and they are going to be a big deal. I think they're going to be really flying, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see those play out. Now, there has been a bit of profit taking on those today. So let's have a look at the liquidity on that one. We've got PZen here. Let's have a look on the pool. So probably because the other, Pulse is moving up and stuff like that, we're getting a bit of a relativity move there. But at the moment, we've got the chart generally moving in the right direction. Obviously today, a bit of a red day, but of course we've got Pulse and that moving up. So there might be a bit of a relativity play out of that. And at the moment, it's still heading up in the right direction. And as you know, on the 23rd, we got Zen Crypto, DBZN Crypto, and DBZN NFTs launching, and that's going to be bullish. Now, DBZN Crypto basically is going to burn a lot of Zen. People are going to go and burn a lot of Zen, so the market supply is going to shrink, and of course, that's going to be bullish, generally speaking, particularly if people are buying on the market to enter that ROI protocol. It's an ROI protocol. So we're looking for that. And of course, DBZN NFTs will be wrapping up future minting NFTs in that as well. So that's kind of bullish generally for DBZN future supply, and that's an ROI protocol too. And they've been pretty successful on other chains. So looking forward to on Pulsechain, which is pretty cool. So we'll see where this chart goes to in the next couple of days. But that is where we are at today, which is pretty cool. And that pretty much finishes off our live stream coverage. We're at now 16 minutes. Which is at the top end of the live stream time. So we're going to finish there. Let's see who else has jumped in here. We've got Tail7 says Sparky. Sparky looks like a gem. What new one from the HOA guys? Yeah, look, some teams are going to be launching multiple meme coins, and good luck to them. But you know, when you got too many meme coins from a team, then you're getting a lot of financial allocation. Yeah, I'm not. It's cool, but you know, good luck to them. That's all I can say. And we got Brennan House there. Chippy's foresight for this. What the share rate is on track. Crispy man. Yeah. So on the 22nd of November, we're expecting a big jump in the share rate, about 1,400 hex per T share, and by the end of the year, we're expecting the T share rate to be 30,000 now, up to 32,500 by the end of the year. So you got to get your T shares in before the 22nd of November. Because the share rate's going to jump quite a bit on that day. 1,400. It's going to be a big rate hike. And yeah, big shout out to Crispy Man and his projections there. Very useful indeed. Hex just entered the elevator going up, says Elias. Is it? Let me have a quick look at that because I'm not actually on that one at the moment. Let me go to Pulsechain and Hex there. PX is it's pretty chill at the moment. It's just taking a little bit of a cooling down. Yeah, a bit of cooling down here on the old PX. And EHEX there is chilling out. It's chilling out, but looking pretty good. EHEX looking even better. Yeah, 4,500th of a penny. So looking pretty good on the old EHEX. Not bad. All right, I think we're going to wrap up there. Hope you guys have enjoyed it today. What a day, man. Is things starting to look really good? Are you feeling better? Because you should do. It's been, these live streams have been epic lately because the dev teams are doing amazing stuff. We've got so many projects launching. We're in the second wave. And I'm waiting for the first one to hit. I guess this opening salvo from Mintra is kind of the beginning of that. We're waiting for the Fetch Oracle as well, as you guys know. Liquid Loans talked about launching in October. They got to get their Fetch Oracle out, and currently it is the 20th of October. So are we going to see the Fetch Oracle this week? There's our expectations at the moment. And of course, we've got a few days left in the week to do it. So will this weekend be Fetch Oracle Day? Keep an eye out for Fetch Oracle. That's kind of the play there. But everything looking good. We've covered it all today. It's been a full show. We've covered politics. We've covered the Federal Reserve. We've covered the stock market. We've covered crypto. We've covered Pulsechain. We've covered all the projects coming. It is getting exciting. And of course, let's keep cool after school. Keep your coolness and get into Discord. The Discord link is in the video description. Join, of course, the Discord. Get involved. We've got all the information, all the early intel as well if you like the intel. And we've got the most importantly of all, we've got the best community. So definitely get into our Discord. Big shout out there as well. All right, let's play out some music on the way out. This sounds like a music day to celebrate. And I'm going to play Sandy Beach's favorite since she was the thumbnail today. Or at least a version of Sandy. The thumbnail there, which is pretty cool. All right, peace out, everybody. Take care. Bye for now. Woohoo! Rock on. Rock on.
Well, I drifted off again at work, thinking about Pulsechain. And occasionally I think back to that twerk, Richard Hart bringing his game. Well, I didn't make the sacrifice 'cause I came too late, but day one I'm still making it rain. Oh, I drifted off again at work, thinking about Pulsechain. up in a sweat last night, dreaming about Pulse X. Won't be long before I'm going to bed wearing a Rolex. There's so much to love about it, I can't pick my favorite. It's almost better than sex. Well, oh, I woke up in a sweat last night, dreaming about Pulse X. If you wanna be set up for life, you better stake your Hex. Might as well start with 5555, a financial suplex. Generational wealth is just a click away. It's a Nobel Prize worthy flex. If you wanna be set up for life, you better stake your Hex. A financial suplex, a Nobel Prize worthy flex. You better stake your Hex.